2024 Major League Baseball season. And more importantly, the beginning of another Baltimore Orioles campaign is just days away. You guys know I couldn't forget to give you both Orioles previews, predictions, and break down each position. We're starting off today with the manager, the captain of the ship, Brandon Hyde, and we are discussing if this is a make or break year for Orioles manager, Brandon Hyde. It's the Flex On Podcast. Orioles preview, managerial preview of Brandon Hyde coming your way right now here on the Flex On Podcast. Only place giving you that Orioles coverage how you want it, when you need it. The smell of baseball. The calendar is at the end of March. Spring is here. The fresh white chalk lines on the base paths are being regulated. The grain, the green grain, the overall grass crew, the maintenance of the Orioles, the grounds crew, they're out and about. Baseball season is finally here. I'm excited. I know you're excited, Birdland. And I wanted to start with these previews. I wanted to get you guys content. I wanted to get you guys my previews of the Baltimore Orioles this season. You guys know no one on YouTube does Baltimore Orioles coverage better than the Flex Zone Podcast, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it, giving you that Orioles coverage how you want it when you need it. And God's favorite host, yours truly, giving you the news, rumors, updates throughout all 162 and the postseason, hopefully, for the 2024 campaign. Today, we're starting with manager Brandon Hyde. I always like to start with the manager or coach or captain of the ship. I think the Orioles have a great thing with Mike Elias. Rest in peace to Peter Angelos. The Orioles now have David Rubenstein coming in, looking to potentially be more of bigger spenders when it comes to free agents, re-signing their own guys. And I think the Orioles have found a good manager in Brandon Hyde. I think most of the fan base, if I was to poll them, or even if you comment in this video down below, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you're new, hit that like button, hit that bell, sound off in the comments. I would say about 70 to 80% of Orioles fans, in my opinion, are good with Brandon Hyde. But I do think there are a small percentage of Orioles fans, and rightfully so, who still have sometimes their reservations. The way he does the lineup, the way he makes certain substitutions throughout the game, the way he doesn't keep certain guys in the lineup, the way he manipulates his batting order, even sometimes guys he plays and doesn't plays consistently, and even keeping some guys like a Mateo, like a Urias, that he is fond of. And Brandon Hyde, like a lot of coaches and managers, have guys that they like on their team. They like guys that are athletic. They like guys that play hard. They like guys that have position versatility. And he has that on this roster. Mike Elias has that, and he's done a good job putting that together on this roster. Brandon Hyde, he is entering his, sixth season with the Orioles in 2024. He is a record of 315 and 393 with the Orioles in 708 games, a 445 winning percentage. Now, obviously, 2019, rebuilding, 2020 COVID year doesn't really count. 2021, fifth, and 2022, they were fourth. And of course, last year, winning 101 games, they were first. Obviously, it's not about what this team does in a regular season, and I'll get to that in my team preview, and that comes out this week. But it's going to be about postseason success for Brandon Hyde. What can he do when it matters most? There have been a lot of good coaches, a lot of good managers, a lot of good leaders who can't get over the hump, who don't do well in the playoffs, who can get you there, but can't get you there. And a lot of speculation was that Brandon Hyde would be the guy before the guy. I think Brandon Hyde is the guy that can lead this team to a World Series. He has the talent. He has now, I think, enough of an arsenal offensively to utilize the guys he likes. He has the farm system. And I think this team As long as they can stay healthy pitching wise as well, they have a guy like Corbin Burns that they can give the ball to. They have guys in the bullpen that they can rely on. They have young arms that are only getting better. And I do think eventually John Means will be back this season. I do think, knock on wood, hopefully we get Kyle Bradish back this season. Hopefully the bullpen without Felix Bautista can hold up strong. But I think what a lot of Orioles fans have to realize is last season they won 101 games, get to the playoffs, don't win a game. I think now more than ever, this is the year the Orioles have a legit shot to get to the World Series and win it all because they'll be better than they were last year. The players have the experience. The players have the wherewithal of knowing what to expect when you get to the postseason. I think some of the minor mental mistakes, because I think the moment looking back on it was a little too big for them. And I think we maybe overvalued what we thought from them. And they ran into a hot, tough Texas team who did win it all, by the way. That no consolation. But I think Brandon Hyde, he's a player's coach. He's a player's manager. I think the Orioles and Ravens have players, coaches, and managers that players love, players play hard for, and he goes to bat for his players. He doesn't throw anybody under the bus. He always tries to point out the positive in them. And I think even when they're not doing well, and he does have to make those tough decisions, he does a good job of, I think, not beating around the bush, being a manager that's, I think, direct but not disrespectful, and being able to better the players and still instill that confidence. Because as a professional athlete or in anything in life, you guys know if you don't have confidence, you don't have that support of a winning culture, a winning team, good management, it goes a long way. And I think Brandon Hyde does a good job of empowering his players. He does a good job of managing his young players. And I think he is a player's manager. And I think this year, maybe some of the mistakes that he made in the playoffs with the lineup, with the bullpen choices that he made, the pitchers he left in or took out and bought in certain situations, I think he won't make some of those mistakes. He was a part of the Chicago Cubs coaching staff when they won the World Series, down 3 games to 1. He's been a part of losing and rebuilding the culture in Birdland. And you can really see the wheels turning that they have really turned this thing around. In my opinion, they're ahead of schedule. They're probably a year or two ahead of schedule, depending on who you ask. This is the year I think that they really can start to ascend. Michael Elias talked about liftoff. Brandon and I talked about being better. Better isn't about the record. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the amount of wins in the season. Oh, they won 100, or they may drop to 95. It's about what they do in the postseason. Not only getting to the postseason, but first of all, winning a game, winning a series, and making a deep run to a LCS or a World Series, winning a World Series. It's going to be very, very pivotal to this team this season, what Brandon Hyde does. We know Jackson Holiday is going to start the season in the minor leagues. We know he's going to be up here eventually. That's on Mike Elias and ownership. What do they do with guys like Jackson Holiday when he gets up here? What do they do with Colton Cowser? What do they do with Reston Kerstad? What do they do with Kyle Stowers? How do they use this lineup to their advantage? Getting guys at bats, keeping guys fresh, utilizing the strengths of this team. How does he manage the bullpen early in the season? How does he manage the bullpen later in the season? How does he manipulate his starting rotation? How does he deal with potential injuries and guys who may be underperforming? As I mentioned, the first month of the season, you can't win a division, can't win them, make the playoffs, win a championship, but you can lose one. And I don't think that is very, very pivotal. And I think it's very, very pivotal, especially starting out with the Angels, that the Orioles start off good. They start off hot. They start off dominating and showing why they are the best team, in my opinion, and in a lot of the people's opinions, not only in the American League East, but in the American League. I think Brandon Hyde is going to get this team to the playoffs. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. The question will be, and this will define the season, what will happen in the playoffs? Now, obviously, we don't know the specifics of Brandon Hyde's contract, but we know him and Michael Elias are tied at the hip. We know with new ownership coming in, they're going to want results, but they're also going to help Brandon Hyde and this team by putting the resources around them, by putting money back into the organization, by putting money on the books so they can spend money, Michael Elias, and get Brandon Hyde guys he needs, make the moves, sign some of their own guys to sustain the success, not only for 2 or 3 years, but 5, 6 years, long-term success. I think Brandon Hyde, he's a likable guy. He's a player's manager. I think he's only getting better because he's only really been, this is his 6th year. So he's done 5 solid years. Now he's going into years 6, 7, the back half of a decade. I think the best is yet to come. I think those who are a little skeptical should be mindful that Brandon Hyde is a winner, comes from a winning culture. And I think he's bringing that culture here to Baltimore in his own way. And I think this team this year, as I mentioned, has potential to do a lot of great things. And I'm riding with Brandon Hyde. I said it last year. I think he's the man for the job. I think this year it's about results in the postseason. And I think if they are able to stay healthy, they're able to make the right adjustments when needed in the postseason in high pressure situations that they maybe didn't make last year. I think this team can legit make a run and hopefully bring the Baltimore Orioles a World Series for the first time since 1983. But that's all I got. Let's start with the man in charge, the manager, the leader of the ship, Brandon Hyde. Sound off in the comment section. I want to hear from you, Berlin. What do you think about Brandon Hyde? What do you think about the Orioles manager? Is he the guy for the job? Is this a make or break year for him? I don't think it's make or break. I just think it's about what he does. Those high pressure, those high tense, those high volume situations in the postseason. Last year they kind of wet the bed, but I think this year, if he's able to improve on those situations, it'll do wonders for what this team can do and accomplish. But subscribe if you're new. We do Orioles content each and every day, just about. We do position previews, which are coming, as long as the Braden High preview that it's coming on show right now. We'll be doing post game shows throughout the season, breaking down the games. We'll be doing shorts, recapping certain games, giving you the quick 60-second post game recaps when I can't do a full post game show as well. And of course, we'll be live Thursday after opening day if they don't move it to Friday or whenever opening day is decided to come because Mother Nature is having her way right now on the East Coast. We'll be here for a post game show talking about the Baltimore Orioles as well. But I want to hear from you in the comment section. Barrelline Flex Zone family, God's favorite host, hosted the most, the current Flex Zone podcast, only place giving you your Orioles coverage how you want to know when you need it. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Brandon Hyde and the Orioles this season, or any videos or topics you want me to cover about the Orioles or any sports related topic. Orioles, Ravens, Maryland Terps, check the ticker down below. We cover just about everything. Flex Zone podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave us a thumbs up. Let me know what you liked about the video, and make sure you come back for more, as this is the first of many previews coming for your Baltimore Orioles for the 2024 season. Gotta be excited as baseball is back.